Let's talk about how to create and promote your brand story to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And our topic today is your brand story. One of the first things we need to remember and keep in mind, and I didn't actually think about this or know this or do this till a few years ago when one of my longtime friends on the internet, we were having a conversation. She told me that she's like, this isn't my real name, right? And I'm not going to say who it is because I absolutely positively thought that was her given name. But she's like, no, I created this name and I took this name and changed my name legally, like 10 years earlier, which is probably why I had no idea. I'd only been probably friends with her about 5 years at the time. And our paths kept crossing because we had a lot in common, worked with a lot of the same type of people and became friends, did a challenge together and things. But it was really interesting that I had no idea it wasn't her real name. And that's when the ability to create our identity, create our brand identity really hit home to me was, oh my gosh, you can just change your name. You can just be a different person. You can pick the pieces of who you already are. And that's the most important thing, is to pick the authentic pieces of what your brand is, what your business stands for, who you're here to serve, etc. Pick those authentic pieces that they can most relate to and build your brand on that. And that was really an eye-opener for me. So what do we want to do? How do we create our brand story? What's important in our brand story? What's important in our brand story and the pieces that we pick to create our brand story? And we want to create that, or people in the universe and in the world that see us and hear us will create our brand for us. So we want to maybe unveil our origin story. Why the heck does our business exist in the first place? Who are we here to serve? How do we serve them? How are we different in how we serve them? What makes us unique and special that they should want to even do business with us in the first place? And then finally, we can embrace our core values. We can share our core values. And generally, our core values are in alignment with those of our ideal customers, the people that we really want to serve and help here. And those are the ones we're going to highlight. Do we have other values? Absolutely. But they may or may not be consistent with what's important to the people that we're here to serve. And so we want to emphasize the ones that are. Promoting our brand story. Once we've created our brand story, I'm not going to go into how to do it step by step because there's a ton of coaches out there on that. There's a ton of courses. There's a ton of information on how to do your brand story and how to create your brand story, how to tell your story. We want to incorporate things that are attention getting and visual and that speak in our ideal customers' language that they can relate to, that are unique and authentic and, vulnerable if that's appropriate, which it usually is, by the way. There is so much fake stuff out there that if you're being who you really are, people value and appreciate that and are more likely to trust you than if you're driving around in the Lamborghini showing it off and talking about all the awesome things you've done for everybody else in the world when nobody really cares, things like that. So how do we go about promoting our brand story then? Once we've created the brand story, we need consistency. We need to be consistently speaking in the same language, showing up in the places that our people are, but our messaging needs to be consistent. We also need to engage visual content. We need to have video. I know most people don't like to do video. Most people are like, why do I want to see your face every day? And it doesn't matter. That's part of my brand, who I am, and consistently showing up every day. So we want consistency across our brand. We want visual things that are stimulating. People's attention span has gone down to being minuscule, and so you have to find ways to get their attention. You have to use graphics and fonts and things that are appropriate for your audience, but things that will help them see you in the first place, and then that they can recognize over time because you're consistently using the same things. And then finally, we want to amplify what we're doing through social media. We can show up on a lot of different platforms. It's so easy with the internet nowadays to start a brand and spread your brand around. And if it's right for the people you're here to serve, it'll take off. If it's not, you just got to keep tweaking and testing until you figure out what is right for you and your business. So love to know your thoughts on your brand story. Do you have a story? Do you tell a story? Do you tell that story consistently? Have you crafted and created it? Or is it just kind of what you've fallen into over time? Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. And I will be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.